Hello everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Jett Allen and I'm going to talk to you about the legalization of sports betting in Texas. In 2001, Phil Mickelson, who you might know as a professional golfer, is actually very into sports betting. He bet $20,000 on the Baltimore Ravens before the season started that they would win the Super Bowl. He ended up bringing home $560,000. In 2019, James Adichie bet $85,000 that Tiger Woods would win the Masters. Well, he won. He ended up bringing home $1.2 million. Taylor Pelosha made a crazy 15-game bet. She bet every game on an NFL weekend perfectly. She turned a $5 bill into $100,000. This sounds pretty interesting, right? Well, it's actually illegal right now, as I informed you of last week. And my job today is going to be to convince you that if it is legalized, that it can actually be very beneficial to society. And I am credible to talk about this because I've done extensive research. Let's talk about the main points. There's already types of legal gambling in Texas. There's more jobs in Texas. Gets rid of illegal gambling, and legal sports betting is actually taxable. Okay, let's get to that first point. So last week, one of my cons was actually that, it's morally unacceptable to gamble. Well, I just think we can't think that. People earn their money. I think they could spend their money however they want. And an ethical question like that, you can't say that harms or hurts society. That's more of a personal belief. And you just can't say that. And another thing to the lottery thing is that, sports betting requires skill. You can actually get better at sports betting than just picking a couple numbers on a lottery weekend. And, you're just going to get, not luckier in a sense, but you can get ahead of others. A great example that I found on this is from Newswatch TV. It's a game of skill. With right knowledge and expertise, you can gain an advantage over other players similar to poker. We're not saying it's not a form of gambling, it's just the fact that with enough knowledge and wit, you can get ahead of others. So that's pretty interesting. So with enough knowledge and skill, you can actually get pretty good at it. And, it might be a interesting source of revenue for certain types of people. And, money, and it'll be a new hobby for people. And I just don't think any of that is going to be harmful to society. Let's talk about how financially it can really help Texas. It's actually going to bring a lot of jobs. And you may be thinking, well, how is that going to bring jobs if it's just sports betting? But there's actually a lot that goes on behind the curtains. There's people taking records of everything. There's people that have to predict the odds. There's people that have to create all these new websites that are going to be in Texas. People counting the money, making sure everything's right. And we just can't say that jobs are ever harmful to society. I know that sounds obvious, but it's any time that there's jobs, coming this way, and especially it's kind of a rough economy, but it's gonna be very beneficial to society in that sense. Okay, my next point is that it's gonna get rid of illegal offshore gambling, and how is that harmful to society? Anytime you're getting rid of anything illegal, very, very beneficial. And let me read you this quote that I used last week. Federal government charged 57 individuals with operating an illegal gambling business, racketeering, and money laundering connection in their Panama-based sports book. This comes from the American Gaming Association. 57 employees got arrested, and that's a lot of people playing on that website. And a bunch of those had to be from Texas because Texas is one of the only ones that hasn't legalized it yet. 22 states have already actually made it legal. So yeah, a bunch of those people are from Texas. And back to my first point, how can we ever say that's harmful to society if we're taking away something illegal? Okay. And my last point, it actually has to do with financials too. And that's that, this is a legal form of revenue, and that's taxable. States are going to be able to, it says states can tax how they want. Let me read you this quote from RotoWire. Along with sports betting comes money as states are allowed to tax sports books as they see fit. This new form of revenue for states can go to any number of areas, from schools to health clinics to construction to road work. I feel like I'm stating the obvious again, but how could that ever be harmful to society? Excuse me. Anytime that there's more taxable revenue coming in, it's actually benefiting everybody. And I mean, you just can't say that's harmful to society. Okay, so let's go over my main points that I talked about. There's already types of legal gambling in Texas, so it can't be morally unacceptable. There's more jobs in Texas, beneficial to society. Gets rid of illegal offshore gambling. You're taking away anything illegal that you're taking away, beneficial to society. Legal sports betting is taxable. We're all getting benefited from that. We can spend, like I said, health clinics, road work, construction. It's helping all of us. So I hope I did my job today convincing you that it actually can be very beneficial to everybody. And, imagine like Taylor, she had a $5 bill, turned it into $100,000. It's fun. It's as long as you're safe about it and you're smart, it can be beneficial to all of us. And that's it. Thank you.